Are you tired of not getting all the sales that you want? Are you tired of talking to people until you're blue in the face? Well, let's talk about talking with people using the neuroscience that we are all hardwired with when it comes to making a buying choice. Yes, if you're selling, it's your job to create the buyer, and you have to work with how they are hardwired to make buying choices. Buying is not logical, it's emotional. So if you're ready to dive in, I'm Marla Copal, and I help direct sellers make more sales. And there's a lot of neuroscience involved with selling. I've used this for over 30 years, and I want to share it with you. I've only shared it with corporate teams before, and I've only shared it with my sales teams. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Just hit that subscribe button. Be ready to hear when I come on next time by hitting that little bell. And now let's dive in. So one of the first things about each of us is we are hardwired as to how we make decisions. And there's a very, very simple way to understand how this works. So there's a pace in our life. Some of us are more methodical, we're a little more thoughtful, and then there's some of us who just hard charge and we just make nanosecond decisions. Well, those are really important when it comes to how we're presenting and working with a buyer. We also are more focused on one of two things. The first one is people. Where are we? Do we really like people? When we make a decision, are we thinking about others or how it's going to help others? And then there's those of us who are just task-oriented. This is a job I got to get done. Let's get it done. Well, if you're an opposite of your buyer, you really want to tune in to how they work and to how you work. Now, this is not hocus pocus. This has been in us since the day we were born. You know, I was looking at pictures of babies this week, and the babies, some of them you can just see they're being very thoughtful about their choice, and the others are just grabbing. And then there's some who are attracted to all the objects in the room, and there are some who are attracted to all the people. That hard wiring was early on. It's in us already. So now as sellers, it's up to us to really know the people. Some people say this is rapport building, but it goes deeper than this. So I'm a fast talker. I'm now trying to pace down in case I've been too fast for some of you so that maybe you can feel like you're catching up. So if I'm a fast talker speaking to someone who's more methodical and thinks everything out before they speak, I need to slow down. Or I'm going to lose them just because our behaviors don't match. Matching is really critical. So if I am a touchy-feely kind of person, and I want to tell you about all the nice things, and you ask me how much time it's going to take, and I say, oh, it won't take very long. That is not a definite answer. You have to learn to listen. When somebody says, how much time will this take? They're precise. They're very fact-driven. They're very task-oriented. So see, our customers give us the clues, but we have to read them. So the neuroscience of selling is easy once you can interpret each person and their styles. Now I have webinars in which I teach these things, and I do lives, but I do bits and pieces. If you want the whole thing, you got to connect with me. And the information is below. But let's make this even better. Let me make this sexier for you right now, because I want to talk to you about 4 descriptions of buyers. So remember, as a seller, it is your job first to create a buyer. You can alienate buyers faster than you can create buyers. So here's some types without giving you all the categories. And these aren't personalities, by the way. These are not personality types where someone calls you an owl, a tiger, or a blue or a green. This is simple, factual descriptions that suit these people, and you'll know them. And I bet you by the time we're finished here, you'll even hear which customer is the hardest one for you. But that we'll take care of in another video. So first, you have those people that speak a little bit slowly, and they always are like concerned about other people. So even if they start asking you about your product or your service, what they'll say is, oh, well, that's really interesting. I have a friend who needs that. Right away, you know you have someone who's a huge caregiver. In fact, this person, believe it or not, can't even think about themselves until they've taken care of everybody else. And this plays out very importantly during your sales presentation. The sooner you recognize this person, the better it is for you to create that conversation and create a buyer. I will tell you, though, this person has a really hard time making decisions. Very hard. So no matter how many objections you think you're hearing, this person isn't objecting because they're very nice. They're just not sure. Now, the second person is someone like me. We're expressive. We love to talk. We love to tell stories. And we are going to align so well with somebody else who tells stories. But if you try to get to be very fact-based with me, always fact-based, nothing fun, no statistic, even insurance can be fun. Even buying a car can be fun. But if you cannot bring a sense of humor to the conversation with me, I'm not one of your buying candidates, because I feel like you're so focused on yourself and your sell, and you're not giving me any attention, that I'm just not interested in what you have to say. And I know I'm being a little harsh, but that's pretty much how it is. And there's more of us out there. So you might want to get to know that person better and learn how to sell with them. And then there's the one that is very investigative, going to ask you a lot of questions. In fact, they think it's their job to ask the questions. It's their job to break everything down. They don't even know. It's so habitual to ask questions that they don't even know that maybe they don't have to ask questions. Also, this particular person is hardwired to ask 5 questions for each sentence you say. So if you're a huge talker like I am, you've got to tone it down. You just got to give them what they need. Their favorite question is, so how is it made? How does it work? Well, the thing is sometimes things are so new and technologically complex that you can't begin to describe. But you have to try to switch them over from that to finding the value. And then lastly, this is a person we all know. We've met them. We usually think they're pushy. We usually think they're just rude, and they're not rude. It's their style. They make decisions very, very quickly, and everything is time oriented. So they're very focused on time and efficiency. And if you don't pick this up in their conversation, you might draw out a conversation too long, and therefore you'll lose your customer. Or you might just be one of those people, you're trying to be nice and tell them all the fluffy stuff, and they just want the facts. So I teach you more of this. I have worked with this and trained this to over 5,000 people, and I just find this is the easiest way for you to break down how you're going to change your selling process for these 4 buying types. So remember, buying is a neuroscience. Selling is a neuroscience. And if you're ready to know more, keep an eye on this channel. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Hit that bell if you'd like to be notified of when I am going live again. And then what I'd like you to do, if you really want to, is look in that description down there and find out my latest offer. And be sure to comment and ask your questions so that I know how I can support you. Thank you.